I love to automate virtual synths. It makes the production feel much more alive, much more dynamic, and best of all, with the new macro controls that are built into modern synths, it has never been easier or simpler to do it. Hello and welcome to Tobisonics. It is Tuesday the 27th of July 2021. I hope you all had great weekends and enjoyed the hot weather. In this week's episode, we're going to be taking a look at how macro controls make it even simpler and easier to automate your synths and add excitement and dynamics and musicality to your productions. For the purposes of this demo, we're going to be working in Cubase. Why? Well, because that's the DAW I work in. But these principles can be applied to any DAW. Along with Cubase, we're going to be using Arturia's Analog 5. Why? Well, because I use it a lot, so I know it well. But you could apply these techniques to any set of macro controls, or indeed any set of synth controls, and get great results for your productions. To keep things nice and tangible, I've broken open a production that I'm working on right now for my new EP that'll be out this autumn. We've got ourselves an automated bass line. I've paused all the automation. Let's do one more rep like this, and then I'll drop in the second automation. Right off the bat, you guys can hear that automated brightness is giving this sort of rising, kind of fizzing kind of energy that's taking place. As the bass works its way up the notes, so does the fizzing energy rise. And then when the rep starts again, the brightness falls back down to where it was and builds again. So it's working very much in tandem with what's being played on the bass. Next up, let's have a go at automating timbre. Right now, what we've got is the core bass line going with the brightness automation. Let's do one more rep like this, and then I'll drop in the timbre auto so you guys can hear the difference. Now we're really starting to cook. The timbre automation is adding this kind of shifting, grinding, kind of funky, sort of grungy kind of flavor. The two things are kind of shifting against each other as they automate. As we did with the brightness, we have the timbre building along with the bassline pattern. Finally, let's have a go at automating time. Right now we're listening to the raw bassline plus the brightness auto and the timbre auto. Let's do another rep like this, and then I'll drop in the time auto so you guys can hear the difference. Now, whereas with the other two pieces of automation, the effect was kind of evident straight away, this is a little bit more subtle. And you'll notice that we're doing something differently. Instead of going with the bass line and kind of building up, we're actually coming down off the auto. And the reason we're doing that is we're just kind of tidying things up a little bit. We do have one cheeky extra bit of automation that technically, okay, it's not a piece of macro auto, but it's a cool thing to do with a synth, and you can do it in any DAW. And that's automate your panning. Now, panning a bass line is not going to be to everybody's taste. A lot of people like their bass line straight down the middle, and that is fair enough. But it's something I like to do from time to time, and one of the things I really like about doing is it then shifts the bass away from your kick drum. So your kick drum gets straight down the middle, your bass is shifting either side of it. Alrighty then, let's have a quick run through of everything we've done. Right now we're listening to just the raw bass line with the kick and the hi-hat. We'll do one more rep like this, and then I'll bring in each of the automations one after another. Virtual instruments tend to be a little bit static. They don't have that natural kind of shift and roll that a live instrument has. Automation is a great way to add some of that variation, some of that dynamic, some of that sort of response to what's being played. So the fundamental kind of texture of the instrument, the fundamental voice of the instrument responds to what's actually being played by the instrument. And as you can see, the macro controls on Arturia's Analog 5 make it even easier to add that auto. But as I said before, you could use macro controls on any synth, or indeed you could use just the synth controls themselves. The principle is the same. If you enjoyed this week's episode, please take a moment to like the video and subscribe to my channel. It really does help me out. Thank you for taking the time. Usually at this point, I would say, if you want to hear this production in context, you can check out my latest single on all streaming platforms. Well, you can't because it's not out yet, but if you want to make sure you catch it when it drops, then there's a link in the comments below that will take you to your favorite streaming platform where you can follow my artist account. Not only does it mean that you'll catch my EP when it drops, it'll also really help me out with the algorithm gods, of whom we all worship. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions about today's video or any of my productions, feel free to ask them in the comments below, or you can catch me on social media at Tobisonics. And until next Tuesday, good night and good noise, stay safe and stay healthy.